Welcome to Broken Kayfabe, the unofficial after show of Breaking Kayfabe with Baldrin and Barry. Ariel Agbalog, thank you so much for joining me again.
Hey, yo, Frankie. How's it going? Oh, fuck it. Never mind. I was going to do that.
So it may seem like it was a while since we've recorded or one has dropped, but we put out like 4 in a week before my in-laws came and I went on vacation up to Wilmington to see the new house. So we're making up for the little bit of the lag, by putting out, I think it was 4 in a 7-day period.
Yeah, so we're going to do 8 in a 7-day period. No, just kidding. We're not going to do that.
I would if I could get you available, but instead you have this thing called the shoot job.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Can we really do that many shows in a week? We can, but do we have enough to give the brother shippers what they deserve? Quality content from two guys that don't know what the hell they're doing?
The answer is no.
Exactly. So.
Now our podcast has been making the waves. Recently, there was a post from Matt Crowder and other folks chimed in, or someone else said it. Maybe it was Brandon New. I don't remember. But someone commented on the Jimmy the Boogie Woogie Man Valiant imitation done by Matt Crowder. Did you see that post?
Yes, I did. And of course, I was proud that it came from our podcast. And Matt Crowder's impersonation was, to quote Chris Zaha, a bajillion stars.
A bajillion stars.
A bajillion stars. Yeah, it was a very good impression. I loved it. And I'm glad that, he got recognized. People listened and they mentioned it and I loved it.
Yeah. Some people are a little behind, and to those people who are a little behind, I would suggest that you bump us up in your order of rotation. So you should listen to the Breaking Kayfabe with Baldrin and Barry first and foremost. Secondly, you should come and listen to Broken Kayfabe because your brother shippers are on here talking. Sometimes we don't have a brother shipper on. I can't coordinate, but hey, if you are a brother shipper and you would like to be on Broken Kayfabe with Ariel and Frankie, then please message me and I'll be happy to get you on. On this episode, we do have a new brother shipper that is coming on.
Woo!
Yes.
Who is it?
It is none other than Drew Samuels.
Wow, Legends House, right, Drew?
Legends House.
Yep.
That's
Drew
right.
Legends House.
So Drew had applied for the sponsorship that Jenna and I are doing. Mm-hmm. And before we made a decision, he says, hey, you know what? Take my name out of it. I've got this. And so we took his name out and didn't consider him in the running. So I'll tell a little story about that whole thing and this upcoming interview. So I'm really excited to be able to talk with Drew.
Mm-hmm.
And also, while we're on the subject of the CWF Legends Fan Fest June 4th, I would like to say that, sadly, Joe Christie passed, and we won't get into it a whole lot. We've all cried over that. But the only thing I want to mention is that, 3 weeks before Joe passed, he called me and said, hey, Frankie, I just want to let you know none of the meds are working. You and Jana, thank you for, booking me and getting me to come down, but I'm not going to be able to make it. He said, please pick the next runner up and get them and make arrangements. And I said to Joe, hey man, we're not going to give up on you, Joe. We're not going to cancel that. We're not going to do that. We are going to be right here with you until the end. And sadly, he lasted 3 weeks. So, rest in peace, Joe. But shortly after Joe passed, Jan and I had a chance to talk, and I said, well, what do we do? And she said, well, let's look at the rates, and the rates had went up. And so we canceled Joe's travel. Now, we still had the ticket purchased. We still had the hotel purchase, so that wasn't a big deal. But we were able to get someone else that will come, and we're going to break kayfabe on that right now, even though I saw the person make a post on their personal page, so maybe not a lot of people saw it.
Mm-hmm.
But the person that is taking Joe's spot is Jason Ward. Congratulations, Jason. We have finalized everything as of yesterday morning, and very happy to have Jason. He's coming from up on in Washington State. He'll be flying out of the Portland airport, I do believe, in Oregon. So we're really excited for him, and I know he's in a couple of the wrestling Facebook groups that I have. So really excited about Jason coming on board.
Congratulations, Jason. Welcome to.
And so Jason will be at the CWF Legends Fan Fest. That is June the 4th, 2022. And it is at that big, long hotel, the Residence Inn by Marriott, Tampa Suncoast Parkway at the North Point Village in Lutz, Florida. Announced our Axe and Smash Demolition, which, you also get the Masked Superstar, who was one of my favorites as a child. Barry Darsow, who was the Repo Man, Blacktop Bully, bunch of other stuff. You get Medusa Michelli. You get, I think Medusa Michelli's doing the Cup of Coffee, which is really cool. The Cup of Coffee at the last event was Jerry Jarrett. Very fun, entertaining, and he took questions to the crowd. It was great. We also will be getting Bob Roop, Steve Kern, Leilani Kai, Bill Alfonso, the Cuban Assassin, and my favorite part of the CWF Legends Fan Fest, the Brothership.
Absolutely. That is a solid lineup right there. Not only you got the Legends, but you also got the Brothership coming. So that's exciting. And I just looked at the calendar, and it's coming by really quickly. It's almost the end of April. We got one more month after that. And then boom. Fan Fest.
It's like 6 weeks. It's like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So if you haven't got your tickets, please get them. If you haven't booked your hotel, please do so. Someone told me that they missed out on the group rate. So you might want to check some of the other hotels there in the area to try and get the rate. I think there are 3 that are right there. Excuse me. Damn, I just burped on air. That's my fault. I apologize. Completely unprofessional of me. I couldn't help it, though. I'm drinking a Coke Zero.
You could edit that out, right?
I could. I probably won't. I ain't got time. I got a busy week.
Okay.
I'm trying to please our 50 listeners, I was going to say, but actually last week, and the last time that I looked, because I don't care about the ratings. I don't do it for the ratings or the money. I do it for the brother shippers and the families of the brother shippers. But anyway, the last time I looked, we had about 50 downloads a week, but the last time I looked, we actually had 100 downloads that week. It must be Matt Crowder's Jimmy Boogie Woogie Man impersonation. Willie.
Well, I can't do it.
Me neither.
I'm not gonna I'm not gonna attempt to do that. Willie. Something. I don't know. I've never watched Jimmy Valiant wrestle. I wasn't around that time, so of his heyday.
Did you ever wrestle with your cousins?
No
kids,
my friends, my cousins were older than me and bigger, so no, but my friends,
yeah, you're not going to wrestle with people you'll have to lose to. Okay, I don't blame you.
Exactly, no.
It's looking like a true wrestler. So I used to wrestle with one of my cousins, and you would pick the wrestler that you were. You wouldn't wrestle as yourself because that'd be boring, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would pick like Ricky Steamboat or wasn't a Flair fan. Jay Youngblood, and my cousin would pick Jimmy Valiant.
Nice.
Or the other one was Wahoo McDaniel. But all he ever did as Wahoo was chop the shit out of me. And he would do like Wahoo's little fire up that he would do where he wouldn't sell and would just dance around and tomahawk chop people in the head. So, and then as Boogie, he wouldn't do Boogie's gimmick where you hit Boogie once and he just lays there and shake. He would not do that at all. No matter what I did, he would be, the dancing and clapping Boogie and throwing haymakers at me and then elbow.
Nice.
That would be it. And he was smaller than me, but I totally whipped my ass every single time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my friend would pick Hulk Hogan and automatically Hulk up right in the beginning of our little match. And I'm like, dude, come on. And he would no sell everything, and then or the Ultimate Warrior, he would just run around and clothesline me, and I'm like, this isn't fun anymore. Forget it. I don't want to do this. I'm like, man. But yeah, that good old days. I miss that. You can't do it now. It's kind of weird.
Hey, unless you're a pro wrestler.
That is true.
Hey, it's not too late, buddy. You can do it.
No. Well, who am I? DDP? I can't do this. I'm 41.
Hey, you know how there's like seniors that like play like pickleball or they play shuffleboard or
Yeah.
I don't know, bingo. Man,
Yeah.
why can't there be senior citizens wrestling?
Because they will die, Frankie. They will die. They will get injured.
Speaking of which,
yeah.
Did you see Ric Flair in the ring with Jay Lethal?
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about that, but part of me loved it, and it was interesting. It was entertaining. It was, but yeah, I don't want to see Rick do that anymore. Honestly, I don't.
75 years old.
Yeah, but
one thing that I noticed is that he struts and woos a lot more than he did back in the day.
That's all he can do now. No, he can do more than that, but he was sweating a lot. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy's going to have a heart attack or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think that's what he's going for. You see like the videos of him at whatever hotel he was at. I mean, I think that's what he's going for. He's pushing it to the limit. Bless his heart.
Yeah. It's kind of sad, though. I mean, I don't know. I
kind
of don't want to see. It is. I just don't want to see that kind of his legacy going down like that in that way or something. I don't know, but it's a Ric Flair. It's his life. He could do whatever he wants. I mean, it's just, yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. But right. It was pretty cool to watch that video. Jay Lethal looked like he had a lot of fun. I would be more interested in like what Jay was thinking that entire time. Like he must have been so happy, like rolling in the ring with Rick again, or they did before back in TNA, right?
Yeah. That was a great segment. So here's what Jay Lethal was thinking. Okay, Come on, Rick, please don't die on me.
Exactly.
Please don't let me be the one that kills the Nature Boy.
Exactly. Yeah, that's hilarious.
So, Ariel, before we go to Drew Samuels, why don't we talk about something that was mentioned on Breaking Kayfabe with Baldwin and Barry, the #1 podcast on the Arcadian Vanguard podcast network, as deemed by me. Also, the podcast with the Facebook group with the most people. So anyway, let me just say that. They discussed, Jeff proposed a question to Lord Barons. What would you tell yourself? What would you go back in time, tell your 21-year-old self?
Yeah.
Now, I know that I'm putting you on the spot.
You are, but it's fine. It's simple. Don't. Oh my gosh. Actually, I got a credit card when I was 18. I was going to say don't get credit cards. I got into trouble when I was 19 with credit card debt. Anyway, 21-year-old self, I would be like, invest in Amazon, Amazon, Tesla, and Nvidia, and maybe Apple. I would tell myself to invest money, to be smart financially. It would be a lot of it would be like financially based advice I would give myself, knowing what I know now and whatnot. But it would be to save and invest more into those type of companies. And other than that, that would be it, because I honestly didn't live a crazy ass life so far. I was, I was okay. I was just fine. I was just hanging out with my friends, going to work, blah, blah, blah. But being a little bit more financially educated nowadays compared to when I was 21, because they don't teach you anything about, finances in school. They should.
Man, I just said that to my daughter yesterday or the day before. I've had, you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
He fell, folks.
I
He fell on
did.
his arse.
I did my Ric Flair impersonation.
No, you the Shockmaster.
Oh yeah, he fell on his arse. Oh, okay, but so I was thinking about Ric Flair right now.
So I know that in my school, I think it was, I'm not sure what grades. It was high school grades. It wasn't all of them, but it was like 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. I don't know. But you had to take, home economics. And I know part of that was bills and shit, but I did not remember or get any of that. There should be more education on bills and shit.
Yeah, I totally agree.
In school to prepare, hey, look, this is the current cost of stuff. This is what it's going to cost you to live on your own. Now, I'm not crapping on my kids, so it's going to sound like I am. But the other day we were talking and about what the kids want to study when they go to school. My 13-year-old daughter says, I want to study, film and acting. And so we talked about that for a minute. School options. She's 13. She's got, 5 years before she gets there. And we were talking to my 9th grader son, who's 15. And he said, I want to go to college for soccer. And so I just had to have the conversation of, well, you can go to college and play soccer, but you're going to have to study something to get your degree. And I know that there's a lot of people who've made great livings without a degree, but I'll say that in my wife's profession, in her company, that you can only get so high up in the company without a 4-year degree. So we would like our kids to right out of school go and get the 4-year degree. But my sweet son, he just wants to go and play soccer. But we had to have the talk. Hey, soccer is great. You should play it, and you're great at it. Blah blah blah. However, soccer probably ain't going to pay the bills. And
Right.
I looked up what like the minor league soccer players around here play, and told him, and I said, okay, that's not enough to support you. You'd have to have another job besides that, especially if you have a family to support. And then I said, so your chances of being a major league soccer player, making a couple $100,000 a year, and I'm not saying you need a couple $100,000 a year to live on, but to make a lot of money, it's the chances of doing that are few and far between. So, there's a lot of really good soccer players, a few great soccer players. So anyway, I'm just saying, I don't even know where I got on that tangent. Can you tell me where was I?
Well, it's important to learn financial responsibility.
Yes.
And all that
Thank
stuff.
Thank you. So, when the kids get a little older, we'll talk more about it, but it's, you got to go to school. You got to plan, and you got to understand what you're going to make and what everything costs.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Unfortunately, they got rid of our home economic course in high school due to budget cuts and everything. And they even took out wood shop and auto mechanic stuff. So we didn't learn any of that in high school. They got rid of that after my freshman year. So all the stuff, the basic things that would be nice to know, like of course automobile stuff and economic things, financial stuff, the basic stuff, we never learned that, and it sucks. I wish I knew when I was younger. Even my boss tells me that. He's like, nobody ever taught me this when I was younger. So and whatnot. So it's good to learn, especially the financial things in adulthood. Adulting is hard, and it's
you're 100% correct. Check. it is, and a lot of it is that you become I'm gonna regret saying this word, a slave to work, because you work to pay the bills.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to work, and then you end up hating to work because you have to work. But you have to pay it because you got credit card debt, or because you got school debt, or you got, the car debt.
Yeah, debt everywhere, and it's totally stacked against us. We graduate high school when we're 17, 18 years old. 18, we're considered an adult already, and we're still kids.
Oh, like,
yeah, we're still kids that don't know anything about the world. After high school, we're out going to college or going, joining the workforce or military or something. We don't know shit. And it sucks that it kind of pigeonholes young adults into amassing debt over time and not being financially literate or educated or responsible. And it's sad. That's what I would my 21-year-old self, I would totally sit him down and be like, you still have your hair, you're gonna lose it, so be prepared for that. But also invest your money wisely, save, and try to grow your income. So what would you tell your 21-year-old self?
I would say when you're 48, you're going to be living at the beach. You're going to have a 15-year-old and a 13-year-old, and it's going to suck sometimes, but it's going to be the highlight of your life. And then you're going to have a podcast with this dude that's over in California, and you'll really enjoy doing that podcast. No, I would tell myself,
don't get into wrestling. I
don't know. No. Finding the brothership has been really good for me. Mm-hmm. And the brothership got 1,000 times better once I went to the fan fest. But anyway, I would tell myself, good women, and I'll say good men, good partners in life are hard to find.
Yes.
And be the best partner you can be so you can get the best partner you deserve.
That's good advice. Wow.
But instead, I lived a life that was full of
sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Yeah. That's true. But this past weekend we were flying back from Wilmington, and we were early. Then and we did everything that we needed to do on the day that we were leaving. And so Jenna said, "Well, if we have nothing else to do, you want to go see if we can get on a standby, airplane?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." I didn't even know you could do that. We go to the airport in Wilmington and walk up to the desk and say, "Hey, can we get on standby?" They said, "Sure." We show them our boarding passes or whatever, our IDs, and now we're on standby. And she says, "We don't have anything available now, but just hang out. We'll see." And so this is 2 hours before our plane was supposed to depart. And so then they start boarding, and she says, "Oh, look, we got some seats that come available, and they're yours." So, and we didn't sit next to each other. Big whoop. And so we get on the plane, and we fly from Wilmington to Charlotte. Now, when we get to Charlotte, we have to try and get standby again. Well, luckily, my wife is super smart and has done this because she used to travel a lot for work. So in Wilmington, she said, "Hey, can you put us on the standby from Charlotte to Florida?" And the person goes, "Yeah, well, I could do that." So she went ahead and put us on the list. So we got there. We tried to make the first flight, but we didn't get to the gate in time. So we went to the next one, which I think left at like 6. So we got on that flight, and we landed at about 7:45. Meanwhile, as we're checking our phones and stuff, our original flight never departed Wilmington, and it ended up being canceled.
Wow.
So we would have been stuck in Wilmington. So had we not, we would have been stuck in Wilmington Sunday night to Monday morning. And so my whole point of all that is, get someone that's compliments you and contributes and that is smart, because I never would have had a clue because I hadn't traveled that much. And my wife avoided us having a dilemma by getting us here on time and getting us here early.
That's awesome. I didn't even know you could do that either.
Yep.
Wow. Huh. I have to do that next time.
Really, 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 really crazy, but it was really helpful because our flight was supposed to leave at 6, and there's not many. That's a little airport, so not many flights coming out of that anyway going to Charlotte.
Yeah. Did you ever find out why your original flight got canceled? Because you mentioned it on Facebook, but
yeah, no, I think it was weather.
Yeah, the weather, right?
So yeah, I mean, and you think about those flights. Sometimes they're coming from a place, and they might be at a place where there are storms, right. And then they're landing in a place where there might be storms. So in the St. Pete airport last year when we were flying somewhere, there was a thunderstorm. Well, at the St. Pete airport, you have to board outside. So if there's thunder and lightning, you cannot go get on your airplane because they're not going to have you walk in the lightning to get on your airplane. Mm. And so we ended up having to grab a cab, and we had Max with us. This is before Winnie and Coco came along, and so we took Max in the cab with us, went down to Sarasota, and then we got a flight out of there first thing in the morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but all because of the flight was canceled.
I see. Wow.
Speaking of flights, let's go to Legends House's Drew Samuels.
Here we go.
All right, from Legends House, we've got Drew Samuels.
What's happening, bud? It's good to talk with you.
Hey, man, you too. You too. So, we really don't have an agenda of things to talk about. I did send you a picture of some ideas, and those are just basic whatever. But we can talk. We can talk about whatever.
Great questions.
So, you said something. You don't do something by trade. What do you do for a job?
I'm a millwright. I'm a union millwright. Basically, I'm a maintenance mechanic. I do a little bit of everything: electrician, welding, engine repair, pump repair, mechanics, but on a industrial level. Pretty big machines.
So big stuff.
Yeah. I work for the company I work for used to be DuPont, the wrestler killer place. Uh-huh. But we just merged or got bought out by another company. So now it's called IFF. And we make a food additive, to keep everybody poisoned and under control.
Well, what's the shit? How's things after the merger?
Pretty good. Everybody, we got a plant-wide raise. Everybody got a couple bucks bump. So everybody was pleased.
Wow, you never hear that.
Yeah, it went pretty well. But our group gets treated a little different because we're not actual employees of the plant, but what's good for them is good for us too, because we get bump backs from them on all kinds of stuff. So.
You're an independent contractor?
No, I work out of a union hall.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not real familiar with unions.
Yeah, it's good, man. There's people that don't agree, but that's Pandora's box.
So I see the Golden Gate Bridge there behind you. Is that a shout out to Ariel and Matt Crowder?
Oh yeah, that's just I like bridges, man. I got one of the Brooklyn Bridge in the other room. I also got who we got there. We got Jerry McDevitt, my homeboy. Hulkster on the stand testifying. That's some fine art right there.
Oh, those are cool.
Shout out to Michael Herrick. Merry Christmas, brother. Love you, man. Then we got Lemmy over my shoulder.
Okay.
Just stuff.
Well, you're in what we call the sitting room. And
yeah.
Right
in the living area.
Right through the back is the deck, and then if you can look, those are Areca palms, and then right behind that is another house that's right behind me, and then there's one street, and then the beach.
Living good, brother. Living good, man. You
Yeah,
got the beach
man.
right there. Tip of the cap, dude. Like I said, I woke up to 3 inches of snow Monday morning. I was like, what in the hell is this shit?
Yeah, there's no way I could do that. No, none at all. No way. My in-laws live up in Massachusetts, and I can't remember what it was the other day, but it was ridiculously cold. Oh, they had flurries, and so that was crazy too. They've still got flurries up in Central Mass, and you guys got 3 inches, and we're in the 80s down here.
Damn. Yeah, I'm tired of winter, man. I just want some sunshine. That's why I'm looking forward to getting down to Lutz here in a month or two.
Yeah, well, I'm interested to hear how you like the hot weather, and if it's too hot for you, because it's a huge difference, especially with the humidity.
I've been to Florida before, but took the kids, did the Disney thing back in the day. My first batch of kids. I guess I should clarify. I have two sets of kids.
So what's the oldest?
2 older ones, 2 younger ones.
What's the oldest?
22, Madison
Wow.
Avery. She's actually going to make me a grandfather here, hopefully by September 4th. That's the date on the calendar, but we'll see.
How you feel about that?
I've been sworn to keep my mouth shut on Facebook, but it's going to be cool, man. Hopefully we get a boy. I got 4 daughters. I need a boy in my life, man.
Yeah, today.
That sounds bad. I need a grandson.
No, that's I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, so we have a boy, we have a boy and a girl, and my daughter's all into acting, and then my son is in marine mechanics. And so we bought him a scrap motor. We bought him a scrap motor to work on. And as I was picking up my daughter, he texted me a picture of a flathead screw that I could tell that he was about to strip. And I said, "Leave it alone, bud. I'll help you when I get there." Now, do you think he left it alone?
Nope.
No, he stripped the heck out of it. And so, I had to beat it off with a screwdriver, and I'm glad that we got it off. But, I was just, I was like, "Why didn't you wait for him?" And he goes, "I don't know." That's the boys.
That's the learning curve, man. That's the times where my dad would look at me like, "What in the hell's wrong with you?" And then he'd tell me some crazy line like, "You can't learn to fly till you crash a few airplanes." I'm like, well, hell, okay.
Yeah, we got it off, and then from there we were good to go. But we had to beat it pretty good there for a little bit.
Yep, it's good stuff, man. Time with the kids, learning. That's those small moments that people don't pay much attention to. Because it's not a family trip or a big vacation or a party, or the day-to-day stuff is the stuff that people kind of let slip by a lot of times.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot of the vacations that we went on, but I can tell you about every time my dad yelled at me when I wasn't holding the flashlight right.
Right. You're not shitting, buddy. Still pretty bad at holding flashlight. I think it's like PTSD or something. I don't know.
I know, right? So you had submitted your information to be considered for the what we're calling now the Joe Christie Fan Fest sponsorship.
Yeah, man. God bless Joe, man. What a good dude.
Yeah.
Well, terrible thing, man. But
and you're probably one of the top runners, but you're the only person that had their information submitted, and then had someone else submit their information just to say, "Hey, you really should pick this guy." That was Brandon New.
The marks, dude.
What'd you say?
I said I'm really over with the marks, huh?
So but that carried a lot of weight.
Well, that's cool, man. I appreciate that, whoever it was, but those are, like I said, I've got a lot of
Brandon New.
Oh, Brandon, good dude. Been to Brandon's hosted me and some of the other guys. Solid dude. a brother. Love that guy. Nothing
Yeah.
but respect.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this: don't be bad mouthing Detroit. That's kind of an inside thing, man. But it's cool, dude. Brand, I love him, and he's a good dude, a great dude. Actually, man, like I don't want to like put these guys out or nothing or name names, but this group of guys that are they're brothers to me, man. And like when I was low, dude, I mean down, these guys, I mean, like these guys were sending Christmas presents to my children, you know, heavy stuff. I mean, these dudes, they're men of the highest caliber. Awesome guys.
You know, that's the thing about the group. The group is not just a bunch of, as Chris Zaha would say, fat marks. You know,
yeah, we kind of are, but
yeah.
I mean, can you imagine? Wait till we all get to Lutz together. There's gonna be like sweaty people everywhere, just yelling "Yo mama" and shit. Drunk as hell.
Yeah, but there's guys with big hearts and that are willing to help other people out. And
exactly, dude. I mean, we jest a lot and joke a lot in the group and stuff, and we bust everybody's balls, but that's how a lot of people cope with things. That's how it's just camaraderie at the highest level. I dig it. That's why I stick around, man.
I didn't. I wasn't very involved in the group until I moved to Florida, and then I had a little more time on my hands because I sort of took the role of Mr. Mom, and I picked
man if you can get it.
I pick the kids up, drop them off, run here, run there, and I'm very thankful, to be able to do that.
Dude, not to interrupt you, I had an injury a few years ago where I ruptured my right bicep, was off work for almost a year, went back to work for 1 month and ruptured my other bicep, missed almost another year. So I was sitting at home literally, but it was terrible financially, but it was amazing as a father because I got to spend basically 2 years with my 2 young children, and it was like the best time of my life, dude. If I could bottle that one up, holy smokes, unreal. It was just incredible, dude. Like I'm envious, dude. I would love to be able to just sit and focus on my children and be able to be so involved on that level every day, in and out every day. Unbelievable, dude. Much respect to you, dude.
Well, yeah, it's I don't want to say it's tough, but it's challenging because
it is, dude. Because I mean, there's so much that children they ebb and flow through every emotion, and they take you with you.
Well, I went from 0 to all of a sudden I had a 10 and a 12-year-old. Because I married my wife and she had the kids. And I told her when I moved here, I was like, hey, I'm not moving here to watch you raise these kids. I'm here to help you and be your partner in doing that. And so that's really what I've done. And it's been, I have moments where I say, damn, man, I should have started a family sooner. But here's the thing. I would have started it with the wrong person.
The path you've walked is the one that was chosen for you, man, and you're doing well, bud. It takes a man to step up and be a father to kids that need one, man. There's a lot of dads out there that ain't doing the job, and
that's the truth.
All the respect to you, man, for being there for when they need you to be there every step.
Well, thank you. But I see myself as the lucky one, and I'm thankful for the wife. I'm thankful for the kids. To be able to do that. I have no qualms about moving here and doing what I do for the kids because it's so rewarding and necessary, and I'm so thankful and grateful that I have a wife that's successful and supports the family that needs nothing from me, and then 2 kids who I can take care of and I can teach things that they might not be taught or outside of me.
Yeah, like I said, all respect to you, dude, because you know what, even though she might be the one who quote unquote is the breadwinner, like what you do is for her as a spouse. I mean, we all know, dude, being at the home, that ain't no joke. Raising kids, dude. It's like Lord of the Flies sometimes and shit. It's tough work, man. And it's no just the stuff, making appointments, getting people to appointments, practices, this and that. And I mean, it's a nonstop thing, dude. And what you do there takes a lot off of her struggle, dude. I mean, that's what a true partnership is, dude.
Yeah,
that's are rocking it.
That's true. But I'll tell you, I'm secure enough in my manhood to say,
hey, brother,
that I get a lot more than I'm able to give. You know, I'm totally fine. Not a lot of people could step back and say, baby, you're smarter than I am. You know, why don't you take the lead on it? And I'm so comfortable and confident in that it's fine. But when I know what I'm talking about and what I think we should do, I am happy to say it.
Yeah, I think I mean, there's obviously still people live the old fashioned way, but I would like to think that like gender defined roles in the home has kind of gone by the wayside, you know?
Yeah.
Every job, every chore, every task, everything is, let's work together, man. That's how you make it go. You can't just be like, well, I make the check and she makes my dinner, or, you know, he mows the yard and I do the laundry, and, you know.
Oh yeah, no, man.
Everybody's got to chip in.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I mean, she busts her ass, and since I've been here, she's gotten a promotion at work, and so I'm happy that she's able to focus on work, and you know, she's worked in the home since 2020, which we both absolutely love.
Yeah. And she can thrive because of that stability that you're providing on the home front, dude. That's top shelf stuff.
Yeah. So when did you know you were going to be able to go to the Fan Fest?
I had bought my ticket, had all that stuff bought, paid for, was working towards some stuff, and then my divorce got finalized and my financial stuff went whoo, because I got took, dude. I went down pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to get into all of it, but I got rocked pretty bad. And so I was like, holy shit, I don't know what I'm going to do. You know, I got this ticket. I'll probably just end up flipping it, selling it to somebody, giving it to somebody, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think I was going to be making it. And my brother Michael stopped by Legends headquarters, and he's like, dude, I want to tell you, you know, we're bros, and you're going to the fucking Fan Fest. I got a bunch of airplane points and credit card points. Your ticket's on the house. I got it paid for. Said just make sure you got some money for the room. Make sure you got some money for some food. I was like, dude, that's no problem, man. I'll take care of that. And he's like, you're going, we're going. But I got to drive to the airport. I'm usually the wheelman in our journeys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the Nash to his Hall, except he's not all sewn up and stuff.
Are you talking about Michael Herrick?
Yeah, Michael Herrick, man.
Oh yeah,
my brother, man, the boss man, my brother, good dude, love him.
Yeah. Oh man, he really is. So I don't know if I've told you the story. I may have mentioned it before in the talk, but my first Fan Fest that I went to, I'm not going to say it sucked, but I just didn't understand how everything worked. Right, I didn't understand anything, so I bought like the $60 tickets or whatever the entry level was for me and Janet, and we walked around. And I'm not one just to go up to some Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and say, hey man, I love your arm drags or shit like that, right? I'm just not that guy. And so we just walked around and we left and drove back home. We're about an hour away from Lutz. And so the next time we went in there and we're looking around, and then we meet Chris Zaha. And I'm not going to put him over too much because he's got a big head. He's been on Stick to Wrestling, so he's in the big leagues.
He's a mark, but he's a fucking awesome dude also, another brother.
And then afterwards, went over there to the table, and it was a bunch of those guys: Travis Reigns, Michael Herrick, Kevin Dignam, Chris Chris, and I had brought a whole bunch of stuff thinking there'd be more kids there. So my daughter used to be into wrestling. And then when the pandemic hit, she's like, it sucks to watch it without the crowd. So she got out of it. So I took all this stuff that I'd bought her that I never gave her, and T-shirts, and there were like TNA banners with Gail Kim and stuff on it. And I basically let the guys have some, gave some to Benji Fido for Anthony. I mean, Antonio.
Legend, looking forward to meeting the legend.
Yeah. And, so I gave that stuff out, and we all sat there and talked, and I was sort of amazed at just how much they could talk wrestling.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It was just like, I don't know what they're talking about. WWF, I don't know, Diesel or whatever, and I was just like, damn. And then we sat there for a little bit, and then went on to the next session, and I was like, man, these guys are just not just a bunch of fat marks. They are just really good guys. And and they're just good guys that love wrestling. I mean, that's the one thread that puts us all together, but we're all together. So Michael Herrick was in that group, and he took a couple of stuff. Oh, I had promos and things that I'd gotten. So
yeah, Mike's an amazing dude. We always get together, make some restaurant trips. We'll head up to Hammond or anywhere really. We just some dudes that like to eat.
So what town are you in?
I live in a tiny ass town called Goodland. I'm
gonna look it up.
It's American from Milwaukee. That's a Wayne's World gimmick if anybody caught it. Hey-o.
Oh yeah, it is tiny.
Yeah, very. I think there's like maybe a couple thousand at most. If 1,000. Typical small Indiana town.
Not that many stoplights.
None, actually.
Oh. So I went to, I'm going to try and guess. I'm trying to look at a menu. Not the menu, oh my gosh. Oh, you're way up north. I was down south near Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's way down there.
Yeah.
That's Mark Hertwick's neck of the woods. Shout out to, was it Owensboro, Kentucky, I believe? Got lost as hell down there dropping Mark off out in the hood. The woods hoods, I think is what it was referred to as.
So it may have been Lawrenceburg, but anyway, yeah, way down there in the corner, way away from you. I was hoping it was close to where you are.
Michael and I usually travel up to Hammond. That's where I was born and raised up there. Then slowly migrated south. My wife at the time, she was a Purdue student, so we moved from where we graduated high school to Purdue and lived in West Lafayette for a while, and then moved to a little small town outside of Lafayette. And then now I'm here in the middle of West Central Indiana.
So what part of the state is Muncie?
Muncie is like East Central Indiana. It's closer to Ohio.
Okay. That's where the legendary Bob Ross is from.
Yes. It's also where Dave Letterman went to college over there at Ball State.
Ball State, yeah.
Yeah, they have a Bob Ross museum there at the university.
Man, talk about legend. That guy's definitely a legend, huh?
Oh, yeah. He's a rad guy, man.
Yeah.
Can you imagine just being that serene all the time? It'd be crazy.
No, I can't.
Or could you imagine being the guy that like messed up Bob Ross's coffee when he finally snapped? I'm going to bury you under a fucking happy little tree. Calm down, dude.
I had a good friend in the military that was from Muncie. That's how I learned that Bob Ross is from there.
Yeah, Muncie actually used to be on the old Dick the Bruiser wrestling circuit, I believe, here in Indiana.
So Dick the Bruiser, did he have Chicago too, or?
No, but he would work Chicago for Vern all the time. Of course, with the whenever he was teaming with the Crush with the belts for Vern. But he owned Indiana basically, and I think Louisville actually at the time.
Well, was that the WWA?
Yeah, the World Wrestling Alliance, or I think that's what it was. But those were the first shows I went to.
So Jimmy Valiant
was my first show.
Jimmy Valiant showed me a video clip of him, and I want to say it was. I feel like it was for Dick the Bruiser, but it was on TV, and it was a little studio wrestling, and it was Jimmy Valiant and Pepper Gomez. This is pre-Boogeyman, and Bobby Heenan was his manager, so I think it had to be early 70s. And after he showed me that, and this was probably 98, 99, I just had a whole new respect for Jimmy Valiant, because I only knew him as the
Boogeyman.
Yes. And you know, the Boogeyman got old for me because I grew up on it, you know, and it was, he'd take one punch and then he would just lay there and shake, you know, and then get a comeback and then elbow and another elbow drop and then boom, it's over. So, but seeing him work with Pepper Gomez and seeing him as a heel, I was like, wow, it was so good. Like his punches looked amazing, you know, and he was so good on the mic, and him with Heenan, just imagine that, you know, the charisma of the two of those, and filled up that whole room.
Yeah, he was actually from Calumet City, right across the state line from Hammond.
Valiant was?
Yeah, the gym that he used to work at or run was right across the state line there. Me and Mike drove by there not too long ago when we went up to have some loose meat cheeseburgers at Madvig's Doghouse. Shout out. Hammond, Indiana. Get you some. It's good shit.
So yeah. You grew up there in Indiana, and you said you went to your first wrestling show in the 80s?
Yeah, November. I think maybe the 14th or the 15th. It was like a week before Thanksgiving, maybe two. But it was 1980. Man, a long time ago. But yeah.
So what year were you born?
I was like 4. I think I just turned 4, maybe 5, something like that.
So you're born like 76?
Yep. Bicentennial baby.
I think that gimmick's already taken. I think that was.
But yeah, I remember the
Big Bad John in Memphis was the Bicentennial baby, I think.
I'm trying to think of El Bracero was on the card. I remember that. He had the mask on. And,
El Bracero?
Yeah, and I think Paul Christie was there. Of course, Dick the Bruiser. Jeez, and then, through the years, I remember there would be guys like, what was the guy's name? Joe Cagle. People that nobody would know, you know, Sergeant Greg Lake, but good workers, man. Paul was a regular. He was there all the time.
What was the building?
Hammond Civic Center.
Okay.
That's where I would always see them. And then occasionally you would see like a even smaller show they'd be at like Gavitt High School or Hammond High School, like some of the bigger auditoriums in the high school gyms or whatever. But usually they would be at the Civic Center. But they would even run like the Pepsi Coliseum in Indianapolis at the fairgrounds. That's where like the big shows would be, like the ones you would see on TV.
And who took you there?
Mom and Dad. My dad was a Mark II. But that's when I remember getting into wrestling, watching it. We used to have one of those like NASA dishes in the yard, those big monstrosities.
Yes, yeah, we had one too.
And, I would watch wrestling from anywhere. We'd get this big, thick ass phone book looking thing. It would just have these weird numbers and coordinates in it.
Yep.
And that thing had like 3 boxes or whatever. You'd have to set like latitude and longitude or satellite position.
Yes.
Some crazy stuff. And then it would take like a half hour to change the channel. So it would just move slow as hell. But that's how we got WTCG back then, which was
Chicago?
soon to be TBS.
Oh,
that's why I remember seeing Buzz Sawyer on TV. He's the first wrestler I remember seeing on TV.
What do you remember about him?
Just fucking insane.
Yeah.
You know, just yelling, screaming at the TV, and you were instantly like, whoa, who's this dude? And then immediately intrigued because then it wasn't like 10 seconds later he was beating the crap out of somebody.
Right,
and it looked legit, because it probably
It
was.
was, yeah, that's true.
But it was, immediately intrigued. And then as time went on, then you're like, oh, Tommy Rich is cool. And then you'd see like Ole or whoever, Roddy Piper, all kinds of shit, man. Don Morocco.
So
First man to give your sister a belly to back suplex in the back of a Buick Regal. Magnificent Morocco.
did your dad grow up watching wrestling?
Kinda. He was from Omaha, and he would tell me like about people I'd never fucking heard of. But after I became a fan, then I was like, oh, because he would be like, yeah, it used to be Don Leo Jonathan, and I'm like, who the hell is that? But
Right, yeah.
I was a kid, and it was all like Hulk Hogan and shit, or Junkyard Dog, or whoever it was. Excuse me, but like I said, after I became a fan, and even like a super fan, Mark, if you would, but then you know who Don Leo is.
Mhm.
And then
So what year did your dad
Joseph
pass?
Fellow was another one who was actually from Omaha,
I'm sorry, say that again.
a fan of
Say that again. What was the person's name?
Joe Scarpello.
Okay.
Kind of a lesser known dude, but he was a local from where my dad was from, so everybody was kind of hip to him.
So what year
Hammond was our local arena. We would probably go, not like all the time, but we would go a lot. Probably, I'd say 6 or 7 times a year we'd go.
Oh, Joe Scarpello was legit.
Yeah, he was like he went to University of Nebraska and stuff. And there was actually there used to be like not a statue, but what the hell they call those things? Like when they give them out at the NFL Hall of Fame, busts. It's like a head statue. They had him for a long time.
2-time NCAA champion.
By my grandparents' house. I remember being like, who in the hell is this guy?
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he used to have a bar, too, that my dad liked to go to. I think it was actually just named Scarpello's. But
he and Vergano were one of the world's top tag teams for several years.
was not aware of that.
Yeah, this is on the National Wrestling Hall of Fame website. He was in the Air Force, flew 18 missions over Germany during World War II. Went to University of Iowa, where he was with Bob Geigel, his teammate with Bob Geigel. It was a Hawkeye, won 2 NCAA championships. It was a 4-time All-American. Also, first Iowan to win Big Ten Conference. Yeah, he was from not Omaha, but he went to
He's
Iowa.
from Omaha. Okay. Yeah. I thought he was went to college. Okay.
Alternate on the 48 Olympic team. 25-year wrestler.
Was an alternate on too, or was he on like the 50?
Oh, I couldn't even tell you, dude. Look, I'm a mark. I ain't that big of a mark. I heard on a podcast today. It was Last Stop Penn Station with Kerry Silkin and Ian Riccaboni, and they were talking about something, and Kerry said, "Oh, it was 1985," and Ian says, "Oh no, I think it was 84." And I'm like, I couldn't even begin to start to say the date of whatever. There's just no way I would even know that.
That's a little deep sometimes.
Well, I love that. Because
but yeah,
we could be into such worse shit, right? Than wrestling. We could.
Exactly.
We could be experts on. You just named the horrible category. We could be that, but there's the folks that love it. And I've said it a million times. I'll say it again that I used to think I was like a wrestling fan until I got in the group and met a bunch of these guys and heard those conversations where they remember all this stuff. And it's like, dang. All right. So I watched it, growing up and through high school, and I don't remember any of this stuff and didn't research it or read it for, probably 20 years.
Yeah. There's a lot of wrestling that there's stuff I didn't even know about. Like Vandal always talks about California Championship Wrestling and how bad it was. So I would try to find it, or the Titanis and El Ring stuff.
Yeah.
And just being exposed to all different stuff from seeing stuff that people post or whatever or talk about.
Well, I was fortunate enough in my
Or just revisiting stuff and seeing it differently now, years later.
well, in my late 90s, I was fortunate enough to be best friends with Michael Bakikio from High Spots. And so when I would be at his house, or there would always be video running because he was making copies of tapes to ship out. And so, but the things that intrigued me back then was the Japanese wrestling, and that's mostly what people were ordering. And a lot of it was the deathmatch stuff. But and also the Mexican. He had a ton of Mexican stuff too. But after that, after I went to college and I didn't watch a whole lot of it, especially after the WCW got bought out by the WWE. And I didn't watch any much more until I got a kid that was interested in it. And still today I don't watch it. I will see clips of it on YouTube, and that's about it. Every once in a while I'll go back and look at something like maybe Roman Gomez gave me that's got Eddie Gilbert or Mass Superstar, that will bring back memories of that, because some of my early memories of wrestling is the Mass Superstar in Georgia and Carolina, but Mass Superstar 1 and 2, I remember when that was going on, and then the Mass Superstar and Super Destroyer. But as of now, I don't. Which was Scott Irwin.
Unpopular opinion: Mass Superstar should have been NWA champion at some point. Over everywhere, Japan, every territory, Florida on top, WWF on top, Mid Atlantic on top, AWA, Mid South, everywhere. Dude worked everywhere. Could heel, could face, could do it all. Good promo, tough dude, could handle it.
What a great guy.
Yeah, I'm excited to meet him. That's cool.
You probably haven't heard anybody say anything bad about him except Vince McMahon would say something.
Right.
That's about it. And I mean, he was, and you know, when I went to see Ricky and Robert up there at the last Fan Fest, I've got a ton of pictures in storage, so none here at the house. And when I was cleaning up and I looked in one of my drawers, I found I had actually pulled out the pictures of me and Ricky together, and from the 90s. And then I also found the picture, I already have it out, of me and Bill Eadie at a show. So I'm anxious to get that signed, because he was legitimately one of the nicest guys to come in through the locker rooms that I was in. Super nice and down to earth. What a great guy.
Awesome. Yeah, looking forward to interacting with these dudes.
So is Brandon New coming or no?
I don't think so. I think he was talking about maybe November.
So he's one of those guys that. So when I got into the group, I did not add anybody as friends on that at all until I actually started interacting with a bunch of guys, and then I was like, okay, then now I'll add them. I don't know what it was. I don't know. Maybe it's the introvert in me or what. But it was I just didn't. But he was one of the guys that I'm friends with now, and I enjoy his post that he posts on his private page, and I don't post a lot on any of them. But I enjoy seeing people and their families and their kids and the stuff that they say and the focus that they have, and I really enjoy his, because he has a all around positive vibe.
Awesome guy, man.
He doesn't like shit on a whole lot. He's what he says is good feeling stuff, and I mean there's so much negative that we all could just put out there in the world. With the shit that we've been through or the shit that we've got going on or whatever. So it's really good when you see someone that is bringing something that's happy and that their posts make you feel good, which is what I try and do, because the post I post, my wife's friends and colleagues at work are going to see it. So I don't want them to see me going off and shitting on some restaurant. So I've toned it down.
Living vicariously through everyone else's restaurant shitting.
Yes. So we talked about your first experiences in the wrestling, and it was your dad. That was the fan. But your mom, she just went along and was that good mom that would go with you guys?
She was like, she wouldn't give a crap or whatever, but like when we get there, she'd be screaming and shit, yelling. I remember one time she threw a milk dud at a dude and it like stuck to him and it was just on him like the whole time. Strange memories, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of those things.
So I only remember going to a couple shows with my parents, but
oh man, I remember we went to it was actually on my dad's birthday, March 1st, at the Civic Center. It was the night that the Road Warriors and Baron von Raschke and Kurt Hennig fought the Road Warriors. Big schmaz. Larry Hennig comes out. They got Kurt choked up in the ropes and they beat him over the head with the chair. Place is going crazy. Like literally, my dad was drunk as fuck. Just it was crazy. And we're just kind of watching this shit, and the Road Warriors are going out, and people are like throwing shit at them and stuff. And I don't know if somebody like hit them or threw something at them or whatever, dude, but they just like turned around and started swinging on people. And just like people were actually coming at them. It was crazy. I'm like, why would you go at them? And my dad's like screaming, kill him, beat the shit out of him, blah, blah, blah. The cops are going over there, getting on people and stuff. It was crazy. It was crazy, but yeah, it was fun.
So weird question. Your dad was drinking, based on what you said. Now, was he brown bagging from something he brought from home, or was he buying the beers in the arena?
My dad was a solid pre-gamer, man. Still is, kind of.
Oh, he's still with us?
Oh yeah, he's in there. He's hanging in. It's a little under the weather now. He just retired, but he's got some health stuff happening, but he's good. He's good.
You know, one of the reasons that I started the Broken Kayfabe podcast is because those guys that I met, the Travis Rains and Max Spiker, I'm sorry, I should have mentioned him earlier, Chris Spiker, Jamie Ward, all those guys are such good guys. And I thought,
awesome guys.
Yeah. And I thought, man, they really should be, them talking about wrestling should be preserved in history for like their generations to come. Right. So you're about to be a grandpa, you know, come September, right?
Yeah.
So think about your grandkid, and if something, God forbid, something happens to you, growing up, and they'll be able to hear you on this podcast talking about your love of wrestling. You know, talking about
how many head injuries did your grandfather have? Sounds like Rocky Balboa.
You know, so I think it's so important that we record people for the generations to come talking about this stuff, because guess what? Your dad would love to have an audio of his father talking about something he was interested in. You know what I mean?
That'd be crazy.
So that's one reason that I want to do it.
Let's talk about beer.
It's Indiana.
Good times.
So that's one of the reasons that I was interested in doing the podcast, and I'm glad to hear your dad's still with us.
I mean, but exactly, preserving a moment in time. It's awesome.
Well, they get to know, like, hey, this is what people used to be into. I mean, because people are not into it today like they were back in the day, where you don't see the dad and mom taking the kid out as a family event
at the shows anymore. But strangely, my daughters are kind of getting into it now, and they were asking me, "Can we go see it?" So I guess maybe I'll be trying to look into some tickets.
Oh man, my kids, they did not like to watch it on the TV much, but they loved the live show. So we would go to the NXT here in Largo, Florida, and they just loved that. You know, my son was 14, and I looked over at him, and Austin Theory was in the ring. It was Austin Theory versus Kushida, which is an amazing match. And here's Kushida, who could have been main eventing the Tokyo Dome, right? And he's in front of 250 people in Largo, Florida, and great match. And I look over at my son, and he's met a couple friends there near him who are older kids, and he's going, "Austin sucks. Austin sucks. Austin sucks." Yeah.
It worked. Wrestling gets them every time.
Yeah, so for one of his congratulations or whatever that he did, I got a cameo from Austin Theory, and it was amazing.
Nice.
You know, I told him to play it up like he remembered Alex saying, you know, Austin sucks. You know, and I threw the joke in there. I'm sure you hear that you suck a lot, but you know, and he played it up, and Alex loved it. I don't know what he had done right that week. I mean, probably, huh? He said it was good grades. I had a joke. I was going through, and I was like, he probably just didn't piss me off that week, so I got him something to say it pissed me off. But he said it was good grades.
Good job on the grades, dude.
Yeah, he's a good kid. So that's your earliest moments. We talked about your family going to the shows and the live shows. So have you ever been out of wrestling where you just didn't give a shit about it?
Oh yeah, I've lapsed many times. Probably, like I said, from 80, from when I remember. That's when I remember like actually wanting to watch it, and then seeking it out from then on. Probably until, I don't know, probably around 90 when I got into high school. 90, 91. Kind of switched out from watching wrestling and skateboarding and stuff to, drinking Little Kings and Mickeys.
What's a little king?
Being a rebel,
What's a Little King?
Oh, it's malt liquor. Just beer.
Is that the brand name, Little King?
Yeah. They're just little tiny beers.
Yeah. I know the Mickey's Big Mouth. I remember those from my military days.
Get fucked up drinking some Mickey's, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was high school for me. Hanging out with my soon-to-be wife, I guess. Hanging out, partying.
And not into wrestling.
Out of my car.
And so you weren't into wrestling?
Did I get back into it? Probably around the Monday Night War time. But I would I would pop in on it here and there and check in. Watch a guy dressed as a plumber or whatever for a minute. Then bounced out. But then, all the stuff started happening with the NWO and Stone Cold. And then you're like, then it was on again. I'm like, woo, this shit's live. Let's watch it.
So what was the last live wrestling show you went to?
Dale Gagne's AWA, Lafayette, Indiana. Man, what year was that? 2000-ish, maybe. It's been a while, man.
Dale Gagne?
Probably around 2000. LOD was on the card, or the Public Enemy was on the card. Nature Boy Buddy Landell, my favorite wrestler of all time. Bud Rowe. Who else was on the card? I remember from on the flyer. They even had a picture of Bam Bam Bigelow on the flyer. And it says, Bam Bam Bigelow, super tiny apostrophe S, brother, and even tinier letters. Bam Bam Bigelow's brother, Blaze Bigelow, on the card.
Oh, my gosh.
I was like, man.
Oh, that is so wrestling.
Yeah, but it was a cool show. Got to talk to Buddy for a minute. That was cool.
Well, what'd Buddy have to say?
I kind of felt like a dick because I had been drinking a little bit. And I walked over and he was talking to Johnny Grunge. They were just kind of bullshitting. It was in like an indoor soccer arena or whatever the hell you call it, gymnasium. Mm-hmm. But it had like that AstroTurf carpet and shit. Mm-hmm. And they were just kind of talking. So I walked over there and finally he just kind of stopped talking. He looked at me. He's like, did you want something? And I was like, oh, I didn't want to interrupt you or nothing. He's like, so you're just going to stand there or what? So I was like, no, I just wanted to say, man, hey, it's cool to meet you. And Awesome to watch you wrestle, blah, blah, blah. He's like, all right, man, cool, thanks. He's like, I would have been a bigger star, but I did a bunch of cocaine. And I was like, yeah, I heard. And then I just walked away. It's the most awkward interaction of all time.
Well,
I'm looking forward to a bunch more of those in Lutz.
In 1999 or 8, probably 99, the beginning, I was the cameraman for High Spot's shoot interview with Buddy Landell. And I'll tell you some of that story in Lutz when my kids aren't around. Because
I think I actually have that somewhere.
And not because my kids think I'm a saint, but because they don't hear me just put it all out there. But Buddy was interested because, and I don't know how much Michael edited out of that, but Buddy would say, "Oh, my wife, God love her," constantly during that whole thing, right?
Yep, that's the one that I have. I think that's the one I have.
Yeah. Well, he also showed up there with a girl.
Oh, boy. Classic Budrow, huh?
and he came in, and I've got a picture of him too. He and I together, and he came in there like telling stories from the night before, right? Of what they did and whatever. And then he's like, gets there and he's like, "Oh, my wife, God love her. She put it whatever. God love her, my wife." Oh, and just told all these stories, and we're just like, man. And you're still going strong, buddy.
Wild. Yeah, he was my favorite, man. I liked watching him wrestle. So when I was a kid, my brothers and I would watch Mid-Atlantic, or it soon became NWA on TBS. But we'd wrestle, also known as them just beating the shit out of me. But
are you the youngest?
Yeah. And I would want to be Ric Flair, but I couldn't be Ric Flair because my brother was Ric Flair.
So who would you have to end up being?
Buddy Landell showed up. Hell yeah, now I can be the Nature Boy too. And then I would get my ass kicked just like it was supposed to go.
Yeah, that is so funny because in the same episode that's going to air, I told the story of wrestling with my cousin, and he would always either be Wahoo McDaniel, who would no-sell stuff and always do his comeback, or Jimmy Valiant, who would always be doing his comeback. And it's like I'm trying to be, I don't know, Jay Youngblood or Jack Briscoe or somebody. I'm trying to work moves. I want to get a hammerlock, but they want to be doing their comeback the whole time. So you had the similar experience.
Yeah, I had a hard time believing that wrestling was fake for a long time because I was just constantly feeling the pain, dude. I was like, man, I don't really enjoy the full Nelson. I'm not a big fan of this front face lock. I certainly don't recall Ric Flair throwing this many punches.
Well, as we wrap up here, Drew, tell me some things that you're looking forward to in Lutz, Florida.
Want to get down there, hang out with the brothership, show some support for Jeff and Barry. Want to, support Barry, Penzer, the crew for the Florida, Fan Fest. And just interact with all the guys, actually get to meet some wrestling legends. That's pretty cool. But just, hanging out with everybody, spending some time getting to know people, eating some food, maybe some karaoke, some karate, maybe a little Nintendo Switch, breakdancing, parkour. I don't know, whatever we got. Double Dutch. Just hanging out, man.
I hear you. So what night are you flying in? Do you know off the top of your head?
I have no idea. I don't have the itinerary, man. I'm just I'm the wheel man.
Hey, that's all right.
I think
is it Friday?
I think the second. Flying out the second.
Okay. Let me check the calendar real quick.
I think
So
it's
the
a Wednesday or something, or a Thursday.
second's
maybe.
a Thursday, yeah. Oh, so you get there early. That's good.
Yeah, flying into Orlando, then gotta catch a ride over to the Lutz area. I think we're gonna Uber, or
Are-
maybe somebody's meeting us. I don't know. Mike's got the plan.
Mike's got it. Good. That's awesome, man. I'm so glad that.
The other thing too, I'm looking forward to like traveling with Mike, being with my brother on the road, having a good time, getting to spend that time with him because he's literally a brother. He's my brother.
Yeah.
Badass. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it really will be. We're really excited about it.
Decompressing, letting a lot of stuff go, just having some fun.
So we'll be there on Friday, and then we will be leaving on the Sunday.
I'm not sure. I think maybe Monday we're going back, and I think we're staying like an extra day.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's the way to do it.
That's good
Drew,
too. I can work on my tan a little bit. Maybe get some bocce in or something. I don't do some floor shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get down and get one of those Cuban sandwiches from the Columbia.
Yeah, well, Shard Johnson or Russell, however which way you know him, because he's got multiple aliases. Yeah, he was saying I should have everybody over to my house. I said that will never happen. Just so you know, that will never happen. I will not defile this house with the brothership.
Yeah, sadly though, we'd all just be a bunch of well-behaved fat marks. We'd just be sitting there.
That's actually the truth. Yeah, that's the truth. I'm kidding. I would love to have everybody over, and I mean we're across the road from the beach, but we're about
hosting a child's birthday party. You know what an undertaking that kind of shit can be. We ain't running Chuck E. Cheese here, man.
No, you're absolutely right. Well, cool, Drew, man. I'm so glad I got to talk to you.
Same, dude. It was awesome to talk with you, man. Happy to be on the show.
Yeah. Thank you very much for listening and downloading Broken Kayfabe. I think we broke a record of 100 in a week. And I'm not trying to set any records with it. I just want people to hear how cool the brothership is, because that's how I feel about the brothership. I mean, the brothership is actually cool, a bunch of cool people. And it's not, this whole thing is not about me. It's about the brothership and how awesome all of you guys are. And I want people to hear your name, and I want your grandkids and great grandkids to hear you talk about something you're passionate about, and this experience that you got coming up. And the next time we have you on, we'll talk about all the other stuff that will break Kayfabe on, like music, TV, sports, blah, blah, blah. But I'm glad that we got to talk about family and talk about wrestling and the thing that put us all together, the brothership.
Definitely. It was awesome. I was glad to be on the show.
Awesome, man. All right. Well, thank you so much. Enjoy your night, and we'll see you on June the 4th and actually June the 3rd, and we'll have a lot of good times and eat a bunch of good food like the fat marks we are.
That's right, buddy.
All right. We'll see you.
Neato. Later.
All right, Ariel, we are back on, and that was my conversation with Drew Samuels of Legends House.
Who knew that he had a thing for midgets and donkeys? I've used that joke before, I think. I can't remember. About another.
That's all right. Maybe the people won't remember that. Or hey, you're not here for your comedic timing.
No. What?
or your impersonations.
No.
Even though you have a constant Cheech Marin impersonation going on.
That is not true. I think. I don't know. Hey, I can't. No, I'm not gonna even start. It's too late in the morning. It's like nighttime for me right now. It's crazy. But yeah, yeah, cool. I don't know what to talk about now. Let's get this ball rolling before
before it goes flat.
Exactly. So
Yeah, Drew getting his own way down to Lutz, Florida, where you should also be for the CWF Legends Fan Fest. Hang out with all these folks during the day. In between the sessions there, you hang out with the brother shippers and talk and BS and then go out to dinner and then come back to the hotel, and there will be shenanigans. Always are shenanigans, so I hear. And I think that's about it for this week. So hey, look, seriously, if you can find it in your budget and find your way down there, you would absolutely love to come and just hang out with the brother shippers and hear these awesome talks, of Medusa, Barry Darso, Bill Eadie, Axis Smash Demolition will be talking. I think they have a 2-hour session, which is dinner provided. All that is worth it. And I'm not sure what's happening with the after party, but last year, the last one we went to, it was Lynn Denton, and he was absolutely great. Slideshow, video clips, great sense of humor. What a great guy. I bought a bunch of his gimmicks. So anyway, if you can find it in your budget, please come on down and hang out with Tony Botts and Jason Ward, the recipients of the Joe Christie Brothership Fund for this, I don't know, what do you call half of a year? This half of a year. So, and hopefully we'll keep this going every fan fest and get another person down. My goal is to be able to fund one person. And just the way that things ended up this year, my wife was a little gung-ho and said, how about we get 2 people? And we about shot ourselves in the foot because Joe passed, and then we had to pay extra money to get Jason here, but we did it. I felt it was the right thing to do. It's what Joe would have wanted. Actually, I know that for a fact because that's what he said to me. So we made that happen, and we are now, it's official. We're calling this the Joe Christie Brothership Fund.
Wow.
And in the near future, we'll be filing for some nonprofit because I want people to donate to this.
Yeah.
Not because I want to run a nonprofit, but because when you give and you help other people out, it really just makes you feel good. It changed my life. And sometime on this podcast, I'll talk about how I did that and how that worked out for me.
Wow, Frankie, that came out of nowhere. Well, officially naming it the. Okay, I'm getting emotional right now. I miss Joe. I miss his jokes. I miss reading it and all that. I've mentioned before on the Facebook group that his shit jokes regarding Barry, it's not going to be the same, anymore. So yeah. Good on you, Frankie. Wow.
Well, I feel so lucky to be able to have all the people that I have, and I won't say it was a life changer for me to have the brothership and to have these conversations you and I have, and the conversations that I had up at the Fan Fest and the stories and stuff. But I will tell you that it has become a very good part of my life, and there's the dark side of the ring, but. And all the stories and the horrible shit that they talk about and the bad stuff that happens. Well, there's also the light side of it. And the light side of it is when you come to the Fan Fest and you hang out with the brother shippers.
Absolutely. I hope one day I could go. Is there going to be a fan feast after the Fan Fest?
Oh man. Hey, I'm going to sound like I'm going to do my Chris Zaha impersonation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wrestling marks are a bunch of fat asses. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of eating. Bunch of fat marks. All we do is stuff our faces. If we're not talking about wrestling, we're shoving food in our mouth. There we go.
Ain't that the truth? But it's a good thing though.
Man, I'm telling you, the fellowship, the brothership, the hanging out, it was absolutely wonderful. It sort of restored my faith and hope in humanity.
Wow.
I mean, because there are so many good people there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Of course. Everyone's really cool.
The group is
really
cool, and the moderators have done a great job. Mark Hertwick, Travis Raines, who's the other Michael Herrick,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and Jeff and Barry done a great job kicking the assholes out. So I love the group. I love the brothership, the camaraderie, and I look forward to seeing more and more people there. And let's sell it out. Let's have a good time and eat some good food.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to be there, but yeah, you guys.
But you will be.
I will be one day. Yeah.
We're going to get you there.
Yeah. Hopefully.
We might have some nepotism. So the next time, the next, I'm going to say, hey, look, Ariel's got the first spot. Who wants to fight for number 2?
Oh, my God. That would be so horrible. I don't want that.
Dude, we'll Kayfabe it.
Oh, yeah. Kayfabe, brother. Yeah.
Yeah, they won't know that I picked you because you're my co-host and
exactly
my California brother.
Mm-hmm.
Except I just said that I would.
You would what?
I just said I'd pick you.
Oh,
I just screwed that up.
Well, thanks.
Well, Ariel, I love you. Thank you for talking with me once again, giving me another 50 minutes of your week.
Thanks for having me once again. I mean, I'm here every week. So no, but yeah, I missed this. I'm glad you're back from your little trip. Yeah, the house. I'm sure the house is looking good.
Yeah, we're going to get it painted, and
awesome.
We've got showings for renters today, 2 of them.
Ooh, okay, cool. But
so hopefully we'll have it rented by May 1st, and then we'll start looking for some more. So I think I did the calculations. If no, we'll save that for another time. All right.
Okay, cool.
Thanks everybody for listening. Oh, why am I talking like that? What the
dude? Why are you talking like that?
What is wrong? Thanks everybody for listening. I don't know. I don't know where that came from.
No, that came right from the heart. I like that.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. We will see you maybe in a couple of days. I don't know. If you're a brother shipper, you want to be on, just message me on the Facebook. The DMs are open.
Yes, they are.
All right, great. Everybody have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.